Derek Miller. I'm President and CEO of the Salt Lake Chamber and the Downtown Alliance. Thank you for joining us here this morning. Salt Lake Chamber is pleased to be here with our partners, TravelWise and UCAIR, to launch the 11th annual Clear the Air Challenge. It's wonderful to see their support and to see the support of all those who are here with us today, and to confirm the things that are important to all of us. This week I wrote about the challenges that we have with inversions in our community and what can be done to stop them. The truth is, nothing can be done to stop the inversions that we experience. They're natural, but what we can control is what we put into the air during inversion season. We all know that improving our air quality is critical to our health, our quality of life, and of course our community prosperity. Take corporate recruitment as one example. Over the past decade, our state has benefited from investment and job creation from companies that have come here to Utah to take advantage of a talented workforce, a low cost of doing business, market access, and world-class recreation opportunities. But poor air does not just hinder the views of our beautiful mountains, it also hinders our ability to keep businesses and jobs coming to this state. Just as each of us contributes to emissions that lead to poor air quality during inversions, we also all have an opportunity and a responsibility to make a difference. The Clear the Air Challenge is one important way that we do that. As a month-long competition, it is designed to encourage Utahns to reduce their vehicle emissions by utilizing TravelWise strategies and choosing alternative modes of transportation. These things can be enjoyable and even creative, like carpooling, ride sharing, using public transportation, even picking up a scooter on a sunny day. They're not large and difficult things to do, but they do have a remarkable impact. In fact, just since the challenge started in 2009, participants have estimated almost 1.2 million trips saved, more than 16 million miles, and reduced emissions by more than 5,000 tons. All of this proving just what can be done when we work together. And so we welcome all of our friends in the community to join us. And who knows, as we carpool, ride share, take public transportation, we may even make some new friends. We want to thank our Clear the Air Challenge partners, TravelWise and the Utah Clean Air Partnership, UCAIR, for their support, their continued assistance with this challenge. We now have the opportunity to hear from Tom Carter, Executive Director of UCAIR. We'll hear from the following individuals in this order. After Tom, Salt Lake City Mayor Aaron Mendenhall, Speaker of the House Brad Wilson, Executive Director of the Utah Department of Environmental Quality Scott Baird, and Manager of Energy Efficiency for Dominion Energy Mike Orton. And finally, Lime Operations Manager for Utah Mackenzie Val. Tom?
Thank you, Derek. My name is Tom Carter. I'm the Executive Director of the Utah Clean Air Partnership, commonly known as UCAIR. UCAIR is excited to see the Clean Air Challenge move into its 11th year. As Derek mentioned, we have made great strides with this challenge to help clean our air, and the results are adding up. Not only have we reduced more than 5,000 tons of emissions from our airshed, but we've shown people how, by just making a few small steps, they can have a huge impact on our air quality. Last year, we saved 84,000 trips, 1.2 million miles, 360 tons of CO2, and almost $500,000, and burned 1.6 million calories. These are amazing numbers. I know we can do even better. That said, we are very excited to announce the newest development in the Clear the Air Challenge. To better quantify our successes, we have modified the challenge goals to better reflect past winter years. The updated goals are as follows: 375 tons of CO2 reduced, 100,000 trips eliminated, and 2 million miles saved. Not only that, we have made the decision to no longer have the primary focus be on trips eliminated and miles saved, but to further focus on air quality efforts, which means this year's participants will be ranked on emissions saved. We recognize that there are no perfect answers to keep our air clean, but there are practical solutions. These strategies represent many of the practical steps all of us can take to make a difference in our air. While the Clear the Air Challenge takes place for just 1 month, we hope it will provide Utahns the opportunity to start a new habit and think about how their individual behaviors contribute to our air quality. By working together, we can make small changes to our current routines. We can make a big difference for our air quality. We encourage everyone to participate in this year's challenge and see the results of your individual and collective efforts. I'd now like to turn the time over to Mayor Mendenhall.
Thank you, Tom. Good morning. It's nice to have a Clear the Air Challenge kickoff when it's sunny and we can actually see the mountains. There's not a time in the year that I actually hope for an inversion, but when the legislature's in session, it wouldn't be so bad. We know we get a little bit more out of them when it is. The thing I love most about the Clear the Air Challenge every year is that it really localizes what is a global emissions conversation. I think it's hard for us to see how our personal behaviors can influence something like climate change, which can really inhibit people from feeling like any of their actions make a difference. But here in Salt Lake City, we have the luxury of tasting and smelling and seeing the difference. When people get out of their cars, get onto the trains, carpool, bike, walk, we can see it. We know the difference that we make. And that's why this kind of a partnership is so important. I'm excited about this year's Clear the Air Challenge for the reasons Tom mentioned, also because it's my first time as mayor of Salt Lake City to be leading the Clear the Air Challenge for Salt Lake City. We do intend to take that cup from you, Scott, at the end of the challenge. But whatever you do, whenever you bring up air quality, some of the first rebuttals are around industrial emissions, factories, and certainly there are some big changes that we could see there in the future. But there are millions of decisions made, literally millions of decisions made on a daily basis by the millions of people who live in Salt Lake City, rather in the region around Salt Lake City and in the state of Utah. So when we focus together on combining our efforts to reduce trips, reduce emissions, we can see a major improvement. I'm excited about some of the things Salt Lake City is doing. We're getting ready to plant 1,000 trees this year and every year on our west side of Salt Lake City to improve walkability, livability, property values, and even the air quality. We're also excited to work with Rocky Mountain Power to expedite our renewable, 100% renewable energy process as a city. And when we pair that with the efforts of our residents through the Clear the Air Challenge, we double our efforts. So thank you all for being here. I appreciate the nonpartisan partnership that air quality is in the state of Utah. When you take a deep breath, the air doesn't ask you what party you vote for. It does not distinguish between any of us. It affects every one of us. It affects our economy. It affects the quality of life here. So on this sunny day, with hopes of sunny days to prevail throughout the legislative session and the traditional inversion season, I wish you all well and that your commitment to our air quality won't waver no matter what the pollution readings for the day are. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. It's great to be with you all today. I've noticed that as I was preparing to come up and speak, the sun just got brighter and brighter. No inversion, Mayor. So, last year, the legislature commissioned a study through the Kem C. Gardner Institute asking for a roadmap as to how the state of Utah could further reduce our emissions and make our air cleaner. And as many of us know, that roadmap was released earlier this month, outlining some great steps that the state of Utah can take to make the air better for all of us. And we've seen great progress in the state, actually, we all know, over the last few decades because of the tireless efforts of public leaders as well as individuals up and down the Wasatch Front focused on making our air cleaner and better to breathe. The legislature has taken steps such as encouraging Tier 3 fuels, which we're starting to see some real benefits from, and that benefit will continue to grow and grow. Even back to a few years ago, encouraging, in fact mandating, we have ultra-low NOx water heaters to make the emissions from homes cleaner and make our air better. All of these, including some of the actions we took last year around wood-burning stoves, are making a difference and will continue to do so. But we know that the largest contributor to our air challenges in this state comes from mobile sources. And these mobile sources create challenges in terms of how we need to change the way we make smarter choices, the way we get around, carpooling, for example, driving less, biking, even taking transit makes a big difference. So I want to applaud Derek and the Chamber, wherever Derek went, and UCAIR for this partnership and the Clean the Air Challenge, and encourage individuals and businesses all across the state to focus on improving and making our state's air better. I also want to thank Mayor Mendenhall for her collaborative approach, for her continuing to make air quality a top priority, and the legislature looks forward to this relationship with the mayor's office as she starts her new term, her first term. These have been tremendous efforts, and the legislature, in partnership with these great organizations up here, is committed to continuing to make this happen. We find success in the state of Utah by collaborating and finding partners to do that with, like we have here today. So I look forward with all of you to the future and how air quality is going to get better in the state. We will continue to make it a top priority for policymakers and continue to try to move the needle in the most significant ways we can. Thank you.
Thank you all. It is truly a pleasure to be here as part of the kickoff for the Clear the Air Challenge. This challenge is right in line with our mission at the Department of Environmental Quality to safeguard and improve Utah's air, land, and water. Now, as the speaker just mentioned, the majority of our emissions come from our cars, and we all know that the more that we can reduce a trip, carpool, skip a trip, TravelWise, all of that helps us in cleaning up our air. Now, at the Department of Environmental Quality, we take this challenge seriously. So seriously, in fact, that last year we won the Champions Cup for the small team. This is an award that we hope to keep and issue the challenge for anybody to take this from us, partly because we all win as we work towards this goal. Now, I've had the opportunity this last year to have this cup sitting outside of my office as a reminder of the great work that our department has done. It's also had another influence on me, as I've seen this cup day in and day out and realized that there's a lot more that I could have done individually. Our team at the Department of Environmental Quality has done an exceptional job, but there's a lot more that I could have done as the director and as Scott Baird on my own. And so that's my challenge to myself this year, is to do more. And in an effort to hold myself accountable, I thought that I might call out an individual on a one-on-one challenge. So I first thought Tom Carter. We share a building together with UCAIR. I know he's committed to this, so I thought I might call him out. And as I started thinking about other individuals, I thought perhaps the governor, I could call him out. As my boss, I continued down the list. So then I thought perhaps Speaker Wilson could call him out, and if I won, then perhaps we got whatever we wanted out of the governor's budget recommendations. And if you win, we'll work towards cleaning the air. So I think it's a win-win for all. Rather than calling out any individual or any of the leaders here, really this is the challenge for each of us individually to look at our own behavior. What can we do? We have great commitment and leadership here in the state towards air. A lot of funding has gone to improving our air, but now it's time for each of us to find the solution individually. That's the challenge of the Clear the Air Challenge. What can we do to participate and help and show our commitment to show that we care in clearing the air? Looking forward to the challenge this year. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm Mike Wharton with Dominion Energy, and I am the manager of energy efficiency for the company. As an organization, we are committed to improving our planet by leading the transition to clean energy. Already, we have built the fourth largest solar portfolio among utility holding companies, and we are developing the largest offshore wind farm in the United States. Locally, we are also working on advancing renewable natural gas. To learn more about the benefits of renewable natural gas, people can go to dominionenergy.com/greentherm. In our effort to improve air quality, Dominion has been a proud participant of the Clean Air Challenge. I don't want to brag, but last year we made it into the top 10 teams overall. Our group of 116 participants saved more than 63,000 miles. We eliminated almost 3,000 trips and reduced CO2 emissions by over 17 tons. But we're just one team, and that's just 1 year. Can you imagine what would happen if every business along the Wasatch Front joined us in this challenge? According to the Utah Transit Authority, if everyone along the Wasatch Front who currently drives to work would take transit just 1 day a week, UTA would triple its ridership. 300,000 car trips would be taken off the road, and we would eliminate 10 million vehicle miles driven per year, or every day. And eliminating single occupant trips can have a large impact on our air quality. This is why we encourage our employees to carpool, not only when commuting to work, but also to offsite meetings and different company events. Personally, I have a goal to ride the bus at least 3 times a week in my commute to work. And on those rare occasions where I'm forced to drive, I either try to carpool or I commute in a low emissions natural gas vehicle. In fact, I came here in that same vehicle today. If I can do it, everyone can do it. So to encourage our employees to take part in the challenge, we also provide prizes and other incentives to keep them engaged and excited about their participation. And we found, as we found, that once employees learn about the TravelWise strategies, many of them continue to use those strategies well after the challenge is over. We appreciate being involved in this challenge and having an opportunity to support it. At Dominion Energy, we believe that actions speak louder than words. We're changing our business, and we're also challenging community organizations from across the state to step up and show their commitment to improving air quality. We believe that by working together, there is nothing we can't do. Thank you.
I'm really excited to partner with Salt Lake City Chamber, Sister Chambers, UCAIR, Downtown Alliance, and other organizations from around the region to help clean the air and improve the quality of life here in Utah. At Lime, we are passionate about changing behavior by exposing people to the wonder of mobility. When you unlock a Lime, you unlock joy and the freedom of possibility. You commit to cleaner air, conserving energy, and less congestion on our city streets. Since our launch in Utah, Lime riders have taken 1 million trips and saved 350,000 miles of car trips. That's the equivalent of 571 round trips from Salt Lake to St. George. We know firsthand mobility options and smart choices are giving Utahns cleaner air. As a supporter of the challenge, Lime is excited to encourage Utahns to park their cars and experience the freedom of a scooter. Additionally, a promo code for a discounted round trip will be sent to all participants and be valid throughout the month of February. At Lime, cleaner, healthier air is something we believe in. We're excited to join local communities and organizations to help solve this problem. Drive less, scoot smart, and thank you to everyone here for their commitment to cleaner air.
Thank you all again for being here. When you see the power of the individuals and the groups represented, is there any question how important clean air is for us, for our future? We ask you again to join us in support of the Clear the Air Challenge, as it demonstrates not only your commitment, but also your leadership in your organizations and for our community. While we can't move the mountains to stop the inversions, and frankly, who would want to, we can all do something about our daily habits and the impact that they have on our air quality. Please sign up again for the Clear the Air Challenge. You can start logging in your trips now. See the number of emissions that you save, and challenge your colleagues and friends to do their part as well. Turn TravelWise tips into habits. Have fun. Not only will we improve our air quality and the environment, we will improve our health, strengthen our communities, and contribute to continued economic growth, development, and prosperity throughout Utah. The challenge begins in just a couple days, on February 1st. I think that's tomorrow, actually. But the outcomes will last forever. Thanks again for coming, and for members of the press, those who here have made themselves available for any one-on-one interviews. Thank you.